Umbrella Grape Solutions. Recharge Panacea Projects. UGS You're Grounded 1984. UGS Common Law Church Limited 16246006. Rebranding Britain's Drinking Culture. A policy proposal for community renewal, public health improvement and cultural transformation. Executive Summary. Britain's drinking culture has long been tied to social identity, but in its current form it contributes to public health challenges, antisocial behaviour, loneliness, and strain on emergency services. This policy proposes a transformative and non-punitive model that reimagines pubs as community learning hubs, supports healthier cultural norms around alcohol consumption, and strengthens neighbourhood bonds. Through government-supported investment in fermentation education, non-alcoholic beverage provision, based public resilience, while creating new jobs in training, hospitality, and contribution, or moralizing. Instead, it offers positive alternatives, practical skills, and communal experiences that naturally shift behavior toward healthier norms. 1. Rationale and background. Point 1. Social need. The UK faces persistent issues related to alcohol misuse, addiction, social isolation, and community fragmentation. Emergency medical service policing are heavily burdened by alcohol-related incidents. Many pubs struggle financially yet remain uniquely placed to act as community anchors. 1.2 Opportunity for cultural renewal. By reimagining the pub, historically a centre of British life, we can reduce dependency on alcohol as the primary social lubricant, foster intergenerational connection, promote community-led learning, create healthier recreational habits, support local economies. This aligns with contemporary public health thinking, build environments that encourage positive choices rather than policing negative ones. 2. Vision. The pub as a community learning and well-being hub. Participating pubs will become centers for fermentation and preservation workshops, presentations, live demos, and community talks, music, art, and performance activities, access to nutritious fermented foods and natural, low-alcohol beverages, safe, non-judgmental support for people wishing to reduce alcohol intake. A key philosophical component is inclusive moderation, where individuals are offered tools, experiences, and support, not pressure or shame. 3. Community triad model. Pub, church, school. This proposal includes pairing participating pub with a local church, already connected to a local school. This triad strengthens a network of mutual support, resources, and shared identity. It allows cross-venue workshops, gardening, fermentation, music, craft, intergenerational participation, reduced isolation among vulnerable groups, a renewed sense of neighborhood belonging. These partnerships restore a sense of communal care that many feel has been lost. 4. Core components of the scheme. 4.1 Equipment and infrastructure provision. Participating pubs will receive government-funded installation of kombucha and natural beverage brewing stations, state-of-the-art digital presentation equipment, screens, projectors, sound systems, industrial-grade reverse osmosis water filtration, ethical, durable fermentation and preservation. Music hour. This transforms pubs into educational and cultural centers while also offering healthier drink options. 4.2 Educational guest specialists. Fermentation experts, homebrewers, and preservation practitioners are invited as rotating demonstrators. Workshops follow seasonal produce cycles and local foraging opportunities. Vocal, theatrical, and performance-trained facilitators, making sessions accessible and engaging. This provides skilled employment opportunities alongside public benefit. 4.3 Healthier consumption culture. Regular consumption of kombucha, fermented drinks, juices, and smoothies. Reduced frequency of high-strength alcohol, e.g., monthly celebratory consumption. No stigma for those who choose to drink more frequently. Free government-funded alcoholic drinks per day to normalize healthier choices. The aim is not prohibition, but gentle cultural realignment. 4. Public health and addiction support. A central pillar is compassionate, community-based support. Decriminalization of addiction, replacing punitive responses with care. Regulated, safe production and distribution of substances. A voluntary buddy system, not authoritative encouragement and accountability. Access to all therapeutic modalities, from counseling to somatic arts, upon request. Government-funded treatment options without shame or coercion. These measures acknowledge addiction as a health issue and offer support without stigma. 4.5 Cultural activities and live music. Each pub commits to a daily live music hour. Use of ethical acoustic percussion instruments. Open mic, karaoke, or informal participatory music sessions. Celebration events at full moons, Christmas, Easter, and seasonal festivals. Music becomes a vehicle for community bonding and emotional expression. 5. Economic impact and job creation. The scheme generates employment in fermentation and preservation training, hospitality and cultural programming, performance arts, health support and buddy roles, manufacturing of ethical equipment and instruments, seasonal agriculture and foraging coordination, pub refurbishment and installation work. This reorients labor toward care, creativity, and community sectors less vulnerable to automation. 6. Government incentives and support model. Participating pubs receive grants for equipment, training programs for staff, access to visiting entertainers, long-term support to maintain viability. The investment is offset by reduced emergency healthcare strain, improved community cohesion, higher employment and local regeneration, healthier long-term outcomes. 7. Outcomes and evaluation. Expected benefits. Reduction in harmful drinking patterns. Stronger intergenerational support networks. Fewer alcohol-related criminal incidents. Vibrant local cultural life. More resilient community identity. Monitoring and evaluation. Data collection on attendance, alcohol sales shifts, and voucher usage. Community well-being surveys. Comparative analysis of crime and emergency callouts. Longitudinal tracking of health outcomes. Conclusion. This policy reframes Britain's relationship with drinking not through prohibition or blame, but through culture, creativity, skill building, and community care. By transforming pubs into hubs of learning, music, nourishment, and mutual support, and linking them with local churches and schools, the scheme addresses multiple social challenges at once. It is a holistic, compassionate, and forward-thinking vision for a healthier, more connected Britain. And importantly, it ensures that every participant comes out better for it, the individual, Britain's drinking culture. A phased UK-wide implementation strategy. 1. Magic aim. The national rollout will transform pubs into community learning, well-being, and cultural hubs. Reduce long-term alcohol harm without criminalization or stigma. Strengthen local identity, intergenerational connection, and public health. Create sustainable employment in care, culture, food skills, and education. Tips. 2. Phase. The scheme should expand in 3 years over 7 years. Phase 1 Pilot Program, Year 1 to 2. Target 100 pubs nationwide. Objectives: test infrastructure, training, public response, and economic impact. Refine best practice models. Establish national standards. Build public and political confidence. Selection criteria: mix of urban, rural, coastal, and post. Strong existing community networks. Willing local councils and pub owners. Infrastructure installed per pub. Kombucha and fermentation station. Digital present. Ethical instruments for music hour. Per pub cost £7,000 to £9,500 average. Phase 1 national investment. 100 pubs times £9,000 almost equal to £900,000. Training, staffing and specialists almost equal to £2.5 million. Vouchers and public incentives almost equal to £3 million. Administration and evaluation almost equal to £1.2 million. Phase 1 total, £7.6 million over 2 years. 3. National training and workforce model. New job roles created and preservation instructors. Performance-based demonstrators. Communicators. Non-authoritative support roles. Program coordinators. Trainers. Ethical instrument craftsmen. Training hubs. 12 regional centers aligned to NHS regions. Delivered through FE colleges, arts councils, public health departments, community farms and foraging groups. Estimated workforce by phase. Phase. Jobs created. Phase 1. Phase 2. 6,000 to 10,000. Phase 3. 25,000 to 40,000. Phase 2 Regional expansion, Year 3 to 5. Target, 2,000 pubs. Objectives: achieve measurable public health impact. Normalize pub culture. Scale education and performance delivery. Funding model: 70% government grant, 20% local authority regeneration funding, 10% pub contribution, and tax relief. Phase 2 National investment. Infrastructure, 2,000 times £8,500 almost equal to £17 million. Staff and training, almost equal to £45 million. Public drink vouchers, almost equal to £60 million. Events and arts, almost equal to £18 million. Phase 2 total, £140 million over 3 years. Phase 3 Full national rollout, Year 6 to 7. Target, 10,000 plus pubs. Coverage. Objectives: universal access to community fermentation hubs. Fully embedded health-first drinking culture. Integrated addiction support through public venues. Cultural revival of British pub life. Phase 3 Investment. Infrastructure, 10,000 times £8,000 almost equal to £80 million. Workforce support, almost equal to £160 million. National vouchers, almost equal to £210 million. Culture, music, and education funding, almost equal to £65 million. Phase 3 total, £15 million over 2 years. 4. National budget summary. Phase. Duration. Estimated cost. Phase 1. 2 years. £6.6 million. Phase 2. 3 years. £140 million. Phase 3. 2 years. £515 million. Total 7-year program cost, £662 million. This is modest when compared to UK alcohol-related NHS burden, £3.5 to £4 annually. Policing and criminal justice costs, £11+ billion annually. Even a 5 to 10% reduction in alcohol harm would fully pay for the program. 5. Public incentive and voucher scheme. Every adult receives daily vouchers for 4 non-alcoholic pub drinks. Redeemable for kombucha, juices, smoothies, fermented tonics. Encourages pub footfall, healthier habits, social participation, reduced alcohol dependency. 6. Governance and oversight model. National Program Body, Cross-Department Board, DHSC, DCMS, DFE, Home Office, DEFRA, local delivery bodies, councils, faith groups, schools, pub associations, arts and health NGOs. Key principle. White heavy checkmark, no punitive control. White heavy checkmark, no surveillance culture. White checkmark, community trust over enforcement. 7. Monitoring, evaluation and data. Tracked nationally. Alcohol sales patterns. Admissions. Alcohol-related crime. Voucher usage. Community participation. Employment numbers. Mental health outcomes. Loneliness index scores. Independent evaluation commissioned at Year 2, Year 5, Year 7, 8. Political and public messaging framework. The rollout should be framed as reviving Britain's community hubs. Freedom to drink, freedom to choose health. Music, food, skills, and community back in the pub. Care over punishment. Avoid moral language. Anti-drinking rhetoric. Punitive framing. 9. Risk management and public safeguards. Risk mitigation. Pushback from alcohol industry. Partnership incentives and new low-alcohol markets. Political resistance. Economic ROI modeling. Public skepticism. Phase 1 pilots and testimonials. Pub owner fear of revenue loss. Guaranteed subsidy and vouchers. Cultural backlash. No bans, no restrictions. 10. Final outcome vision, Year 7+. By full rollout. Every community has a fermentation hub, daily live music, skills learning, addiction-safe support, intergenerational space. Alcohol remains legal and present but no longer culturally dominant. Pubs regain their historic role as social hearths, not drinking factories.